Hi guys, it's Brooke from Altogether Extraordinary, and today I have another frugal meal for you. I will show you the ingredients right now. We are going to be making stroganoff, and today it's beef because that's what I have. I made a beef roast the other night, and this is how much I have left of it, and I'm actually only going to use half of that because that's a lot of meat. And then the other half I'm going to use for tacos tomorrow or the next day, and I do have a video for the frugal fried tacos somewhere else. So anyway, all the ingredients you need to make this are some noodles. If I don't make them from scratch, then I'd use these extra wide egg noodles, some sour cream. There's only a little bit left in there, so we'll use some of that, about a cup, and I do use this whole bag. Some mustard, about a tablespoon or so, some ketchup, about 2 tablespoons of ketchup, some mushrooms. You can use fresh are really good, but I have canned. And then gravy. This is some gravy that I had left over from the pot roast that we had made, but you can use 1 packet of gravy with water if you'd like, or you can just make up your own with either arrowroot powder or cornstarch and some beef base, but that's entirely up to you. Let me get you a shot of the original recipe. And like I said, well, no, I didn't say it yet, but we don't follow this exactly, but here it is. You've got steak, mushrooms, onions. Again, I can't cook with onions. I'm sure it'd be so much yummier tasting with onions. A little bit of oil to cook your meat in, some beef bouillon, or you can use gravy, or beef stock with some arrowroot powder or whatever, and that hot water is for your bouillon. Salt, ketchup, mustard. Flour would be if you are making your own gravy out of it, so if you just want to use a gravy packet, you can do that. And then the cup of water kind of thins it down a little bit, and then at the end a cup of sour cream. So let me walk you through this. First thing I do is get a pot of water boiling, and then I add a little bit of salt to it, maybe 1/4 of a teaspoon, not a ton, because you don't want it too salty. Next, I get another pan out, and I add a dab of olive oil if I'm using the red meat. Turn this on a medium heat, and I'm going to grab a spatula here. Okay, and I'm just going to coat the pan here. Okay, our water is already boiling because I started the water before I started videotaping. So I'm going to go ahead and dump those in. One-handed is awkward. Just going to throw that out there. Okay, and then I don't know how you do your noodles, but I literally set mine according to the package. So this says rapid boil 7 to 9 minutes, and I'm going to do that. Okay, just kind of keep an eye on it and stir as you go. Don't want it sticking together, of course. All right, next I'm going to chop up this meat. Before I chop that, though, I'm going to go ahead and add my mushrooms to the pan and start those kind of sauteing in that olive oil. And I add just a touch of salt, not much, and a touch of pepper, just like that. Literally going to use half of this, and those mushrooms are already starting to sizzle. So this is about the size of my hand, so probably just under ½ a pound of meat. There is some fat on this, so I will trim that away as I go. And I'm just going to do some bite-sized pieces is all. Okay, I don't want all this fat. This fat's got to go. Okay, this is the pile of meat I ended up with. I'm looking at about 1.5 cups of meat. So we're going to go ahead and add that to the pot. Well, to the frying pan. Stirring those noodles up a little bit as I go. Add those to the mushrooms. just a touch more salt. Literally sprinkle it on there. Touch more pepper. Gonna let that just kind of simmer for a few minutes, and then I'll add the rest of it. All right, my timer dinged, so I'm gonna strain these off. Ooh. I do not rinse them at all. That causes them to be stickier and they stick together, and it doesn't work very good. So I just let that sit there until the mixture is all done. Okay, I'm going to in, and now that this is kind of fried up a little bit, I'm going to put that in there because we're going to need a bigger pot for the rest of the ingredients. And you can use a bigger pan and just use the bigger pan, but I prefer putting it all in a pot. Okay, now I'm going to add this gravy, and I have 1 cup, which truly that's about all you need. Okay, that gravy was a little bit thick, so I'm adding a 1/4 cup of water to that. I'm going to let that come to a simmer for just a couple minutes. Okay, that has been simmering for about 2 minutes. And next, I'm going to add the ketchup and mustard. And I never measure this, but I'm measuring it for you. Just to do it the right way. And it doesn't matter if all that weird juice gets in there. So that's a little over a tablespoon. It is amazing how the ketchup and mustard flavor this. 1 and 2. Okay, gonna stir that in. Okay, I'm gonna let that simmer for just a minute or so. Let the flavors really come together, and I'll show you what it looks like here. Looky there. So it's not a ton, and that's why it'll be different every time you do it, just depending on the ingredients that you have on hand, or at least mine. But you can do it the right way and do it the way the book says, for sure. All right, and the second to the last thing you do is add the cream. I kind of turn the temperature down a little bit before I add that. And then I try to get it all off. Use up all that sour cream. Don't want to waste any sour cream. Here's what it looks like. Looking pretty. It'll be a nice creamy color. Okay, I'm going to stir that up before I finish adding the noodles. Make sure I have enough gravy. Oh yeah, plenty. Plenty. Then I just coat those noodles very thoroughly with the sauce. Okay, time for a taste test. This recipe, what I just made with 1 bag of noodles, with about ½ pound of meat, 1 can of mushrooms, and then you saw the rest of the ingredients. This feeds our family of 4 for dinner we're full, very full off of this, and there's usually a little bit left over for someone to have it for lunch the next day. I usually do a side of peas or green beans or broccoli, and then occasionally I'll make some rolls or some fruit or something to go on the side. But here's what it looks like. Yummy, yummy. Let's taste this one. It seriously tastes a little different every time I make it, depending on how I cooked the roast or the steak. But I don't generally just make this from the meat that, like fresh meat. I usually make this off of something I've already made. So I have meat and then I make it. So let's give it a test. This is good. It tastes a little different than how I've made it before because I cooked this roast in a rosemary, garlic, and thyme mixture, and I injected the roast with some butter Creole injection. I can't remember, but it gave it a very different flavor. So this is very savory this time. So you just play with that recipe, but it is a good recipe. The entire family likes it, and for a family of 4, it's perfect. If you have a bigger family, 6 to 8 people in your family or more, just double it. But this meal right here, let's see, I paid like 50 cents for the mushrooms, $1.50 for the noodles, which you can get them cheaper than that. You can get them for $1. And then the sour cream, a cup's worth is not even $1. So this whole meal was Hi, Dylan. Hi. Come here. You want to come say hi? No. Our friend Dylan is spending the day with us. So this whole meal is probably under $5, depending on what you paid for your meat, and that. So if you get a big roast and you pay $10 for it, and you say, hey, I'm going to get 3 meals out of this, then you just divide that out. So $3 to $3.50 for the meat, and then the other ingredients. I would say it's around $5 for this meal. So if you had a bigger family, it would be up to $10. You want to say hi to my camera? Hi. Do you want to try my stroganoff and tell them what you think of it? Yeah. Okay, here you go. Let's get you a good bite there with some steak. You like steak, right? Yeah. All right. See if I can get you a good bite. All right. Battery was dying, and so it quit capturing the video. So tell us what you think, Dylan. It was awesome. We got thumbs up. All right, hope you enjoy. This is Brooke from Altogether Extraordinary and my helper Dylan today. We'll see you next time.